All right, cool. So, gentlemen, can I get a drum roll, please?
Is that good enough?
That's good enough. SkyBolt, Jordan, where's the drum roll? You gotta give me a drum roll, SkyBolt.
I can get a guitar roll if you want.
No, never mind. Okay, cool. Whatever. We're that failed horribly.
Yeah.
SkyBolt, do you want to do the introduction this time?
Welcome, ladies and germs of post-apocalyptia, to the next episode of the Stable-Talk of the Stable-Talk podcast, the reboot of the series, which is much more of a podcast format and much more SkyBolt to soothe your ears.
And just for a note, that is SkyBolt spelt with a small b.
No, it's not. No, it's not. You're gonna die. I'm telling you what. I will find you in the vast wasteland of South Africa, and I will kill you.
Yeah.
So, as you all could probably tell, SkyBolt was not very happy with me recording a promo for Stable-Talk.
Okay, so yeah, this is a backstory that you all need to learn, because it is literally impossible to get anyone in the studio, specifically James, to spell things correctly. And when it's a 7-letter word, and there's only one deviation from standard English, which is the capital B, which is something I did decisively because there's a lot of other random SkyBolt people in the YouTubes. But luckily, doesn't matter, because if you just Google SkyBolt of any permutation, I'm on the first page. And I'm very proud of that.
Well, that's because YouTube's not really case sensitive.
Yes, and it's also because luckily, the missile is almost unheard of. The small SkyBolt biplane is not, it's not, what's the word for, like, when a product becomes, like a Q-tip or like a Hoover? Anyway, it's not one of those. Because usually when you think of those small biplanes, you think of a Cessna, at least here in America. That's like the common...
And as I say, like, if you say jacuzzi, no one thinks of the brand jacuzzi, they just think of a hot...
Exactly, or a frisbee. So, the SkyBolt is a very common kind of small, or not, I'm not sure if it's a biplane technically, but it's one of those small, like, private pilot's license planes, but you don't think of it. So, it was good branding on my part. I just iron it down to one thing to use for all things.
How did you choose your name?
It actually goes back to video games way back in the day. Actually, since it's the 20th anniversary, it goes back to Pokemon, because my favorite type in Pokemon was always like electrical Pokemon, because Pikachu and Zapdos and all that stuff. Team Instinct. Yeah. And so that just I just carried that over to other stuff over the years, and I was like, okay, what's like a neat way of saying like lightning? And I'm like, I don't know. There's thunder stuff, but it's kind of common out there. It's like, no, so I tried to find something to set me apart. I'm like, SkyBolt. It's like a lightning bolt, but it's different. Not too many people had used it for anything, so I just ran with it.
Yeah. No, I
wanted to be, because I saw, especially back in the day, people would spell their names so ridiculously with like the leet speak and all this stuff, and I'm like, how are you going to Google
numbers,
that?
Double X's on either side of the names as well.
Yeah, it's like, if you're doing branding, if you're trying to be like a YouTube person, it's like, come up with an easy name to spell.
Oh, but you've got to look cool though if you're on YouTube.
It's like, gosh dang. And so, of course, the SkyBolt was taken up long ages ago, so that's how the SkyBolt music happened. And luckily, at some point, YouTube let you rename your profile, so I was able to just drop the music part, and it's just to carry over in the URL now.
Cool.
So, I think after that bit of a stretch, we need to introduce our new member. So you're already familiar with myself, James Vermont, and that is, of course, SkyBolt. We have a third person with us tonight in the form of Mr. James Kelly.
Yeah, I'm not the most famous James out there. But yeah, I'm like the new guy, or second most new guy or something. But yeah, so I joined the music team like 2 months ago or something.
Yes.
Because apparently my music sounds good.
Yes, so we have something quite wonderful that James pretty much did by himself coming out very soon. So I'm sure We're literally just waiting for art at this point, so we won't mention specifically what it is because I don't want to push Dark Sittich because we do have we have our artists and they're very lovely and they're nice enough to help us out over on the side project teams whenever we ask. So you guys will hear that very soon.
Yeah, but yeah, the artists are like really, really, really busy,
and you guys will absolutely love it. Funny thing, so James has also joined the editing team for Terminal Secrets since I don't know if you two noticed this, but the first episode of Terminal Secrets, people didn't seem to like the sound balancing. There was like one or two.
Oh, you don't say.
I thought that was really good. Yeah,
there was like one or two comments where they were like, you might need to work on the sound editing for this a bit.
Yeah, just wanted to,
So James joined in, and at first.
Yeah.
And at first I didn't know who the hell he was. I just get this message in Skype out of the blue with saying, "Hey, I'm new to the studio. I want to help with the sound editing." And I'm sort of sitting there with like, who is this guy? I don't know. I don't know you, little fucker. He's trying to steal my job, but whatever.
Yeah.
So I sort of begrudgingly I give him a few scenes. I give him small scenes to take care of. And then he comes back to me faster than I've gone and edited my own scenes. And he says, "Here, they're done. Go place them down. They play perfectly." And suddenly it's like, "Oh, okay, cool. James, you can edit everything else now."
Yeah. Yeah, that was definitely not my intention even. I think even when I put in my application, I was kind of like, "Oh, yeah, look, there's some editing stuff. Like, oh, maybe I could get into that." Because honestly, like, I just wanted to do so much work when I joined this. I was just like, "Oh, I could do everything." So I was just like, right, I'm going to contact loads of people and just be like, "Give me work, please." And luckily, no one said "F off, get out." So I'm lucky enough in that regard, yeah. And I've been doing the editing. So, yeah.
Yeah, we've had. I know that feeling that you're talking about. You get into the studio and you just want to do everything. I had that right at the beginning when I had just joined the writing team. God, that was beginning of 2014, January, or December 2013, and I was in with the writing team, and I wanted to impress the writing director, who we still have now, Mr. Daniel Mohan. And I'm saying, and he's sort of handing out assignments. And I'm saying, if there are any leftover assignments that no one's done, I'll do them. Don't worry, I got you, bro.
Yeah.
And he sort of, and he says, "Well, okay, cool, James. Just focus on doing your assignments now first." And I go and do my assignments, and then he says to me, "James, would you be okay with me showing your script to the rest of the team in the next meeting?" And I'm thinking to myself, "Sweet, I fucking nailed it. I am the god of the team." And then Mohan, we get to the meeting, and Mohan puts it up on the thing, and he says, "Okay, everyone, what's wrong with this script? You tell me what's wrong with this script."
Oh no.
It was basically just 45 minutes of the writing team tearing my script apart.
Wow. I am really glad I have not had that experience yet.
I don't think they've let me in the writing team chat yet by that point. I hadn't pried my way in the pry bar.
It took you forever. It took us forever to accept that SkyBolt was one of the writing team, even though he, put out more work than any of us.
I basically ran a side operation through the studio, and eventually they had to integrate me.
Yeah. I tried to do that. That was originally how Terminal Secrets was being made, but I was not nearly as sly, and I got caught every freaking time.
Yeah.
Yeah, you were saying how it was getting shut down multiple times or something, weren't you?
Dude, you have the current version of Terminal Secrets that's airing right now is number 5.
Yeah, it's
the number 4 will breathe life again. That's our that's our Stable 101.
Yes, I want to do it so bad.
I've still got all the script details, and I'm thinking maybe we're done with.
I'm pretty sure, didn't we record one episode? I remember turning in lines for an episode.
Yeah, you turned in your lines, but the episode never got finished. The project got shut down, with the studio saying it was too early to introduce Red Eye.
Yes, it's hopefully we'll see that project soon enough.
Yeah. Was the main character the same all the way through? Was it
We
different
had
one?
we had two major characters. We kept the same character, so Butterfly Stitch was still the main character, but we were alternating between her and Red Eye.
You could always retool her into, some new character, obviously. Because something tells me that Butterfly Stitches, if she even survives to the end of Terminal Secrets, is not going to go over to 101 and start a new life.
Oh, yeah, no. The ending to Terminal Secrets, people are going to be mad with me.
Oh, I don't know the
funny.
ending.
That's sort of how the writing process is, though. Like, originally I had 13-ish, kind of 14 scripts for Confessions, and now actually a lot of those, sort of the less developed ones, are getting, like, cannibalized and, like, put into future and currently in production episodes. So it's an interesting hodgepodge of how, like, how that is. It's like modding out a car, and you just you keep slapping on more cylinders to keep it going, and eventually it's its own monster.
So
Yeah, I mean, you got to keep the quality up, so something has to go.
Yeah, because some of them too, it's just like they didn't really have a place, especially once I nailed down what the overall plot line of Confessions was going to be. Then it's like, all right, no real need for this anymore, but I can turn this and modify a character type into this. And I think overall it's going to serve the story much better, because then each of the scripts have, like, a lot going for them. There's a lot of good action, and there's a lot of, comedy and drama. So I think people will like them.
Yeah.
Whenever they get the chance to hear them.
Yeah.
Yeah, hopefully, probably not when this comes out, but episode 4, we're so close, where we got the new VA for the main character, and I've been so happy with her, and so I'm editing as fast as I can, because it's a lot, but you guys should love it. It's literally like 3 or 4 confessions put together.
I love that. SkyBolt sent me over that first 10 minutes to make the promotional video that we had a few days ago, and I sat listening to this first 10 minutes, and it's like, oh my god, new confessions! It's only 10 minutes, but it's new confessions.
Well, and it's kind of without saying who we introduced the character, but I don't think they've seen the title yet. The title is a little bit fluid. It's like it does apply to the main character herself, but it sort of applies elsewhere in the story as well. So you guys, I think you'll enjoy it. It's really funny too. So episode 4, for a little context for everyone before they hear it, it was written after the Fallout 4 trailer came out, when we finally, God Howard came down and blessed us with, the Son, the Holy Spirit of Fallout 4. And so I had already started the script. I already had a loose idea of what the story was going to be. And we had all the rumors. But then that started sprinkling in, and that started, like, really cementing what the plot of 4 was going to be with, some Fallout 4 ideas. And actually, a lot of Fallout 4 hallmarks have been integrated into episodes 4, 5, and 6 so far, and probably the rest of them too. It's like that now, since I'm writing them now, after we've had that, I feel like that's something I can add to the Fallout Equestria, our little side universe, is adding all those new things from the new Fallout games, because that's what everyone loves.
How would you describe Confession to someone who's hasn't listened to it and stuff? Because I actually, admittedly, have not watched a single episode.
You're fired.
But the more I hear, it's like I kind of want to get into it, but I have no clue what's actually going on now. So, yeah.
It's Confessions is a series of side radio play stories that start weaving together into one larger story. It's how DJ Pony puts it at one point is that the more that the Wasteland connects together, like, it's like a small world kind of thing. And basically, it also becomes sort of self-perpetuating, where these later stories now are people who've been listening to the first ones and are like, oh, I experienced something like that myself. And then you start unfolding the grand scheme of, like, a common thing that's been taking place behind the scenes that the Wasteland as a whole didn't know about. So I think it'll be fun. It plays a lot with the genre, and but especially these first three are they're very self-contained, and they're just stories of life in the wasteland, of like what different characters go through and their own struggles and demons and things that they've tried to face and resolve for themselves. So I like to think of it like a bunch of DLCs that I'm trying to put together into its own whole game, sort of like Halo 3 ODST.
Yeah.
Well, minus Nathan Fillion.
Yeah, I know. I've been calling him. He hasn't gotten back to me yet. I think he's on vacation.
Yeah, he's busy taking a long-needed vacation after the emotional trauma of Castle's ending. That was just cool. They can't cancel these shows. Okay, so
yeah, rest in peace, Nathan Fillion television shows, because you're always doomed to fail.
They're not doomed to fail. They're doomed to be amazing, but they're always doomed to get cancelled.
Yeah, I blame, honestly, like, science fiction on television is so haphazard. It's so hard to get real good science fiction or anything even touching that genre. It's almost like it can't be a sci-fi show. It has to be some other show with sci-fi elements, like X-Files. It's basically a cop, FBI, Monster of the Week kind of show with those sci-fi elements, or Fringe, or God, it's like, even Star Trek, in the last 30, 40 years, you haven't been able to nail a solid Star Trek TV show except for, well, not on like a main network, not like a real good show. It just gets, sent to Sci-Fi Channel where it can live in, low quality production.
Okay, so I'm curious, have you two, like, obviously I'm sure you guys have at this point, you've gone through our comments section. Every time a new video gets posted, you go and you check the comments section for new upload for new comments. And have you ever noticed some of the usernames that are just downright insane?
Like what specifically?
My personal favorite is on the last Stable Talk podcast we did. Was a commenter who was asking why Davies couldn't be being part of the podcast, considering that Davies was part of the last one, and so was Canis. And the commenter was Mormon Furry. It was either Mormon Furry or Mormon Fury.
That's awesome.
I kept wanting to respond to this person, but I couldn't think of anything that would be glorious enough.
Oh man, I'd love to see the South Park people tackle Mormon furries. That sounds like an episode in and of itself.
Only if it's a musical. It kind of like.
Right? I mean, how awesome is that? I'm honestly very happy for Trey Parker and the lot of them, because it's like, they start off with this crude, like ratings busting, what's the word? Not stop motion, but like cardboard cutout, show, animated program. And then now he's got like 9 frickin' Tony Awards sitting above his desk or whatever.
And both Trey Parker and Matt Stone were nominated for Emmys for their voice work.
Yeah, exactly. South Park's gotten Emmys, and I think they have an Oscar somewhere. I know they have a Grammy. I'm pretty sure they got a Grammy for the South Park movie for like Blame Canada, but oh god. That's so crazy. Someone like that's going to end up being part of the whole family club. Have all 4 of the main awards. It's great.
It was fantastic to see the trailer for the new South Park game.
Oh yeah! Oh my gosh, that's gonna be good.
When you hear the title, sorry,
Mysterion. I said
when you hear the title at first. And you're sort of like, the fractured butthole, cool, until you see how they've spelt it. No, there we go.
So great. And I mean, it's such a perfect target, too, because now we're at the critical mass of superhero movies where, we're almost at the crux of the Avengers franchise, and the Justice League is, trying to take off and then keeps stabbing itself with a kryptonite knife, and it's going to be great to see.
Yeah, these superhero movies, every now and then I start it's gotten to a point where I'm now starting to groan and roll my eyes every time I hear adapted from a comic book.
Yeah, I'm bored of all of them. Terrible.
It's funny too. It's funny and kind of sad. It's like Marvel used up all of the public goodwill and momentum, right? You know, because even X-Men's on the way out. Because I don't know if they make a new X-Men movie after Apocalypse. There was some shining moments. I really enjoyed Apocalypse, and then there were some moments where I was like, "Ew, this was a Bryan Singer movie? What happened?" He's the guy that makes the good X-Men movies.
Right.
How did it all go so wrong?
But then they're going to be pumping out tons of Deadpool movies now because obviously everyone is kind of bored with all like the normal superhero movies now, and they'll be like, oh well, everyone likes Deadpool, so we'll just get tons of money that way. And,
yeah, it's going to be that and all the R-rated like edgelord superhero movies. They're going to come out with a new Spawn, and they'll reboot all these other characters and make it too dark and edgy because they don't understand the appeal. And yeah, that's the future we chose.
What was so nice about Deadpool was just it was having so much fun. Because the Marvel Universe, that was how the Marvel Universe started out, where it was just a lot of fun, and every now and then it got kind of dark. And now the Marvel Universe is getting darker and darker, and a lot of us just want to go back to superheroes that are having fun.
Yeah, that's why I'm hoping Suicide Squad is successful, because at least my perspective, it sounds like they wrote the movie and they made it as, Suicide Squad, part of the DC universe. And then they saw how successful, I don't know why, it's like they're testing the waters. They put out that trailer with the, what's that damn song? I used it on a prom video.
Bohemian Rhapsody?
Yeah, was it the Bohemian Rhapsody? Or,
yes, from Queen.
Yeah. Yeah, the Queen trailer. And so they put that out, and apparently, like, according to sources, that was every joke in the movie was put in that. And they were like, oh, this did really well. Maybe we should try to, change up the tone a little bit. And so now I think it's going to end up looking like two movies crunched together, because all the retakes they did are going to be very Guardians of the Galaxy-esque, and it looks fun. And they came out with that second trailer, which was the Ballroom Blitz trailer.
Yeah,
and so I'm really, really hoping it's fun, but I'm really, really thinking it's just going to look like a half and half, and every other scene's going to have a very weird tonal shift.
It could and it could not. What was nice with the Ballroom Blitz trailer was that was the second half. You had the second half, which was just the fun and the batshit insanity and the action, but the first half of it was pretty serious, but it didn't seem like a big leap to get from one to the other.
Yeah, so it really, I think as long as some director besides frickin' Zack Snyder's handling it, it should be okay. Gosh dang.
Starting to not trust him as much these days.
Yeah, no, it's like I enjoyed Watchmen to an extent. It wasn't it wasn't good tier movie for me. It was acceptable tier, but I don't know. I wasn't really a fan of Man of Steel, honestly. Like, I like it better after the fact. I like it better after watching Batman vs Superman, but it wasn't like, it was different. I don't know. It didn't do anything for me. I think it's something about the art style, too. I don't like the way his visual effects team makes it look, because everything looks like they layered on way too much grain and way too many filters to hide a subpar special effects quality. And it's just so jarring after, coming off the Christian Bale movies, which are as much, practical effects as you can make them. And they're really, blowing a hole in the plane. And that was that part of your plan? It was, to make a good looking movie.
Yeah, Christopher Nolan seems to have a real dislike of using CGI.
Yeah. Even, what was it? The black hole shot from, I almost said Independence Day. Interstellar is like some actual thing that they built and like generated based on the most current models of black hole, telemetry or whatever.
Yeah, there's the spinning room scene in Inception. the hallway.
Oh yeah.
Which they went and built that hallway on an axis and had it spin around. Because
yeah, it's like that kind of stuff is so easy. It's genius. So, I don't know. I love that kind of stuff. And, of course, I think a lot of people, that was a big part they disliked about the Star Wars prequels, was there was too much CGI. George Lucas might have pushed the technology and the development, but it's like, you still can tell. It doesn't even look like a video game. It looks like a bad CG direct-to-video movie. And it's just, you need enough of those real physical elements for people to connect to. And that's what obviously they learned those lessons for Force Awakens did so well, is you're blowing the hell out of actual TIE fighters and stuff.
Yeah, I mean, like, the prequels, I think pretty much everything was CGI, like even like the backdrops and just pretty much everything. And then they finally kind of sorted out and actually used like real sets and just sort of mixed it in to make a proper experience. It's like using, it's just an effect CGI. It shouldn't be the entire movie. It's something to enhance it. Rather than something to rely on. But that's my opinion.
Exactly. It's like you look back at really popular movies from the day, go all the way back to Citizen Kane, and it's like they had the matte paintings, but it's not like every damn hallway was a matte painting. It's like you use it properly for backdrop or for emphasis. What was it someone said about... I'm trying to remember some use of CGI where you couldn't even tell it was CGI. Or like what Peter Jackson does, which is everything. It's like you do forced perspective, you do miniatures, you do... Like, that's why Minas Tirith looks freaking amazing still, is because they built a quote-unquote miniature, but it's like 25 damn feet tall, and it's sitting in one of their, New Zealand studios. Amazing.
And it's the same... Oh my god, Jackson and his forced perspective shots... And the moving sets are just, it's unbelievably genius. Funnily enough, I hit on something recently with that. But I'll bring that up a little later in the podcast for a bit of self-advertising. But I do want to ask you guys a question first.
Okay.
Okay, so I want you guys to tell me whether or not I'm in the wrong here. So...
Okay.
That's a dangerous preface as it is. Okay, so this is a few years ago, and I cannot and could not at that point cook for shit. But so I've got my first girlfriend, so excited for myself, and she's sleeping in my room, and I decide, okay, cool, I'm gonna make her breakfast in bed. I'm gonna be that guy. I'm going to make pancakes. Don't know how to make pancakes, but I'm going to try anyway. Go to the kitchen, and I find a recipe online, and I start making the pancakes. And until I get to a point in the recipe where it tells me use self-raising flour. And if you don't have self-raising flour, use baking soda. Those were the words.
Oh no!
So what I didn't realize was that it meant... If you don't have self-raising flour, use normal flour with baking soda. I just started adding...
Oh, no!
I just started adding baking soda to my pancakes. And my 7-year-old little brother walks in. And he says... And he hears the story from me and what's happening. And he gives me this smug 7-year-old look saying, that's wrong, you're doing it wrong. No, you're doing it wrong. And I say, no, I'm not doing it wrong. You're 7 years old. I'm right, because I'm the adult.
Shut up, you little shit.
And he goes and fetches my parents.
Oh, no.
And drags them in there, and the three of them all sit and watch me fail at pancakes.
Oh, no.
But I technically did exactly what the website said. Their instructions were unclear.
Yeah, no, it's an easy mistake. I'll give you that, but...
Yeah. You made a valiant effort. I probably would have just had one of the Mrs. Buttersworth mix bottles. Like, we were more like the waffle, like the frozen Eggos, whenever we had pancake type things. But, like, yeah. You're a trooper. That is very commendable. Hopefully she forgave you after you fed her pure baking powder.
For the rest of our relationship, I did not cook. I cleaned the dishes, and she cooked.
Yeah, it's all right. No, ever since I moved out after college, I experiment with recipes every once in a while, bachelor dumb, and a few of them I've perfected and nailed down to an extent. I'm very proud of myself, but it's like, some recipes you're like, it's not worth it because of all the dishes you have to clean, and I'm like, no, I'm just gonna. I'm going to buy the GMO product one just to save time, because damn.
Cheese on toast is my staple. I still live at home, but like the amount of cheese on toast I make when my parents aren't home or something, it's stupid. And I think I'm just going to die of like malnutrition when I leave home, just because I can't be asked to cook and I like cheese on toast too much.
Sometimes I have one of those caveman, especially now that it's summer here in California. I have those caveman moments of you just thaw the meat and you grill it up and you grill up all the meat you want. Yeah.
I can cook meat. That's fine. Like, I can do bacon and eggs. That's about it. Just stick heat on it. But anything more like complex, it's just like, screw that.
It's like you have the souffles and you're trying to keep it quiet so it doesn't pop. And you're like, no, I can't do this.
Microwave stuff,
It's so magical. You put food in and it comes out cooked for you.
Oh, dear.
Well, weirdly enough, I actually have absolutely no issues with dishes. In high school, I was part of the rowing team, and we had a particularly large team. We had about 70 people from grade 8 through to grade 12, and we all would go on camps at least 4 times a year. And the way they had their dishes system worked out is that a team of 10 boys would clean everyone's dishes for breakfast, and then a different team would clean for lunch, and so on and so forth. And but we weren't quite content with this system, and until one of the grade 11s taught us how to play Texas Hold'em.
Oh,
and
okay.
But we're lowly college students. We don't have money to pay for anything, so we paid with the only thing we had, dishwashing duty. It was then, of course, that I learned that I'm terrible at poker, and I ended up cleaning 70 people's dishes, although with help, almost every single day of the camp.
Oh, no.
Ouch.
See, that would burn me off from dishes completely. It's like I always have a dishwasher anyway, but it's like, it's just the little things and having to even unload the dishwasher. So, because I did a lot of dishes in my first job. I worked at a Subway, sort of. Well, it wasn't just a Subway. It was like a Subway and it was a kitchen, like a normal fry cook kind of kitchen, part of a water park. And so I had all the wonderful summer fun of working at a fast food place and a full restaurant and a water park and an arcade. It's called like Golfland, they just throw everything together. So, God, I had more stories from that than I had my first 3 years in a white collar like office job.
No, that just reminds me of Sea Cadets, where it was like such a terrible system. They pretty much had, because obviously they're trying to reproduce the Navy. They had a quartermaster, but it wasn't like, everyone can help do it. It was pretty much the quartermaster had to make every single drink for everyone, then wash everything up, then hand out all like the tuck shop stuff, and it was just, it was absolutely terrible. And I only had it once, but
did they call you Q though? Did you at least have that benefit?
No, it was literally just, Kelly, because that's like my last name, and it's just like, great, everyone calls you by your last name, and obviously mine's not the most masculine last name, so it's just everyone's calling you Kelly, and you're doing the worst jobs, and then the staff didn't even know what they're doing. Like, you would sit there for like half an hour while they decided what to do for the evening. It's just like, oh man, it was so bad.
That's just one of those carryovers from the good old colony days, though, right? I mean, it's a famous last name. Of you hear these names like Ashley and Brittany and all of them, and they were just that was a surname. It didn't become. I don't even know when that made the jump to become a feminine quote unquote name.
Yeah.
It's the beauty of the English language. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's the thing, too. I saw someone point out that, if you went back in time, it's like you've got a small window to work with, because even English, you go back 1,000 years, and you've got, Middle English and, Gaelic and all these languages, and you read them out loud, and you're like, I have no idea what the hell they're just saying.
Yeah. And also just the punishments from back then. Obviously, medieval times, holy crap. It's barbaric almost.
Yeah, that was a massive or at least a whole chapter in the Michael Crichton book Timeline, where they go back to, I think, 12th century France for some battle. It's like a time travel story. It is neat, but it's they have to have that one guy who speaks the language, and because otherwise it's what the hell are you going to do? It's even then it's ancient French or, Middle French, whatever they called it back then, because language is constantly evolving.
Yeah. Apparently, languages are meant to get, more simplistic. They'll just start cutting letters out and stuff, and it's really weird when people. There was a video of someone talking about language and just basically how dulled down it's become. And it's just it's weird, but it's evolution.
Especially the intentional stuff, we're bringing it back to Fallout now. Glorious Chinese Communist Party. They simplified Chinese over, I think it was in the 60s when they made that push. And what it did is it cut out a lot of those old, very historical kind of symbolic meanings just to, have bare bones language. It's simplified Mandarin. And it's even without an intentional push like that, a lot of language, is just sort of doing that. It's not newspeak per se, not double plus bad, just is naturally evolving that way. To what's the good word? Convergence or singularity?
Yeah. I mean, apparently there's a language where for directions you have to point in north. So you can't say, oh, it's on the left. You have to say it's to the north, and you have to constantly know where you are. And that's just it's really bad. I think it's a old language from somewhere in Indonesia or something, some island. But it's just
too much effort.
It's crazy. Yeah, basically. Yeah. But first world problems.
Yeah, no kidding.
But I don't want to have to know where north is. I mean, I know I can just take up my phone and check my compass at any point.
And then your phone's battery's dead. And you're like, oh,
Dude.
I did the DOV. We had to obviously use a map. And I remember we got to this field, and me and my friend Dan, we knew exactly where we were. Right, okay, we've got to go south, because there was 3 paths. One's in the middle, south, and then 2 adjoining it. And our friend Reese had to stop, get a compass out, then start doing a bearing on the map. And we're literally just dude, just go south. It's literally right there. And it's just, oh man.
Yeah. He's probably part of that last generation that's ever had to use physical maps. And no one these days is going to be pulling out their, Atlas or their AAA for American listeners, AAA travel book.
Yeah.
That must be for American listeners. I've no idea what that is. That's a horrible name for a travel book.
So, it's interesting. Everything's going to be smartphones and digital, and it's
kind of already is.
Yeah.
No, I just want contact lenses like Google Glass, but just on your eye kind of thing, really hidden. That's what I want from the future. Something like that.
You want Google Glass so that but in a way that no one can see that you're wearing Google Glass.
Yeah, it's just
so it's not hideous.
Yeah. Or a brain chip that sort of allows you to connect computers. And it's literally just sort of the screen would be your eye, or something like that. That would be top notch for me. Yeah.
What was the Futurama joke? The iPhone, where you squeeze it into your tear duct and it projects outward for when you want to show people things.
I mean, don't they have some hologram glasses or something at the moment, or where you can project it onto the wall, but it's not actually there? You can only see it or something.
Yeah, they're working on that with a bunch of different stuff. I know Microsoft's got all those projects, and I think the Sony VR and all these VR now. It's like, oh, that's what we could bring it back to. With E3, they're saying they're releasing Fallout 4 VR in 2017.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I want that.
That's going to be fun. It's like, well, what do you do? Like, do you have some kind of, like, trackpad for, like, running? Like, I don't know how they do that.
I'd imagine it's just a controller, but with the headset, to be honest. That's all I can see it as, because I just don't think the technology to like track your movements and somehow run around the entire wasteland would be doable in like your living room or something.
It's like if Pokemon Go is giving people workouts, that's going to give you a workout. Actually walking around the wasteland.
Oh my god, fucking Pokemon Go. It is just dominating at the moment.
Honestly, I think it's going to be like the Wii. I think it's going to burn out like a supernova, and everyone will be like, "Wow, that was a great thing." And then Nintendo's going to see their bottom line bottom out again and be like, "Oh no, we need to make the new system."
Yeah.
I don't know what they did wrong. Well, I think part of it was promotion. At least in the States, like I didn't even know when the Wii U released. It was just someone's like, "Oh yeah, are you going to buy one of those?" And I'm like, "Did that come out?" And I didn't even hear about it.
I think the biggest problem with the Wii U is the games. Like, despite people sort of saying, this console's better, this console's better, this console's better, I don't really give a shit about the console. I give a shit about what I can play on it.
Exactly.
It's
like name 5 Wii U games. I could say like the new Zelda, whatever it's called, and Splatoon, and yeah.
Yeah, I agree with you.
Yeah,
it's like, and then you name like big PlayStation and Xbox games. I mean, they all reach that sort of harmony. But you can even name exclusives like the Uncharted series for PlayStation and the Project Ico, the Last Guardian, that kind of stuff.
Oh man,
and Xbox has the edgelord stuff.
I was so bummed to hear about I was so bummed a while ago when I found out that Horizon Zero Dawn was only going to be on PlayStation.
Is that a racing game?
What? Dude, no.
That sounds like a racing game to me.
No, dude, so, imagine... So it's from the guys who did who did Killzone.
Oh, okay.
Okay, but so essentially... imagine, I don't know, third-person Far Cry Primal... where you play as Ygritte from Game of Thrones, and all the animals and dinosaurs are replaced with giant robots.
Okay.
That sounds interesting. Yeah.
That seems to be the best description that can come off of it, like offhand. The first time I saw it, it was like, holy shit, that looks fucking awesome. There's, you just watch as these majestic ass robots sort of walk across the land. You're wondering how did those get there? Why are there robot animals everywhere? Humanity sort of been reduced to this tribal state.
It's Transformers Beast Wars.
It's Transformers, but with content inside of it.
Well, to be fair, I've heard that whoever did the last 2 Transformers games, they were pretty fun.
I can't speak about the Transformers games.
Oh, but damn those movies. I mean, that's just like, I think literally what it is some perfect formula for like, bottom line appeal, like lowest common denominator. And Michael Bay just knows he's figured out how to hit that. It's like you have to have enough nostalgia of a popular series like Transformers, because that was the missing element from Battleship. It's like no one played the game anymore. It's like that's not even a thing. It was just a desk game. So because that was missing, Battleship went, belly up.
Yeah.
It sunk.
But
yeah, gosh dang, he just makes all the money.
Whereas you have Transformers and you've got Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, and suddenly it's just like you've got that nostalgia factor. You've got that. Oh, I remember that growing up. Yeah, I remember being kind of into that. Okay, cool. I'll go see it.
Exactly. It's the same implementation of the formula with Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
I think there's definitely like a common trend. It's like to make something really popular, you've got to make it really dull, and you can't go in like any specific genre. And that's when, if you like focus on something, if you make like Fallout Equestria or something, not everyone's going to enjoy it because it's like a niche market almost, and that seems to have like the bigger followings. The more passionate followings, but there's less people who like it. But it's mainstream, it's just dulled down and everyone likes it, but no one really, makes a fandom around it, that kind of thing.
There's got to be a study there, too, about, like, the more niche, hipster something is, the more passionate the fan base is.
Yeah.
I think there might be something in that. I mean, if you take a look at the Fallout Equestria fan base, it's a fan base within a fan base. It's pretty niche, but it's but it's got some really, really intense and passionate fans. Yeah, I'm talking about you guys. If you're still listening to us rambling on, we're talking about you fuckers. We love you, and it's great to be a part of of that fan base as well. Because if you look at all the content that keeps getting put out, and it's not a fan base that's slowing down. If anything, it's going to get. I see a bright future for it.
Yeah.
And really, I think. Oh, go ahead.
For me, like any other thing I've liked, there's never been any sort of like welcome to it. But with Fallout Equestria and like MLP in general, it's almost like they're literally just going, yeah, come join us, like go make some content. Like it's just so welcoming and inviting, and that's sort of like what's attracted to me. It's just the fact that it's something I could do and enjoy, and it's just open, that kind of thing. That's what I love about it. Yeah. And
one of the lovely things is that, well, when you're taking the My Little Pony universe, which is already, the world building that the show writers have done, it is pretty damn good, and it's a nice open world, and then you've got something like Fallout, and combining it, there are so many story opportunities. Even with all the spin-offs that have been written, and the millions of words, sometimes by just one fucking spin-off. But there are still so many more stories to explore, which is just what excites me so much for the future. With Confessions is exploring so much of Equestria itself. Terminal Secrets is sort of keeping itself down to the stables for its stories, but what we have to follow up from it is just going to be absolutely fantastic. And then you've got all the other studios doing all their things, and it's just continuous pretty much. It's like so many people just wanting to make content, and it's just amazing, really.
And really now for the shilling, it's like a big part of that is because of the fans. Because even Confessions, like that first one I wrote, the reason it's so relatively shorter compared to all the others now is because it was like a total test. Like I toyed around writing in high school and college, just like here and there, but it's like that was never something I planned on ever doing or even thinking I'd be good at. It's like I'm a STEM major, I'm an engineer. It's like, I was all right at English, but it was never like my forte. And so just like, seeing a good reaction and seeing that something's well received, that's what got me to write the second one and all these others. And it's like, God, now with episode 6 done, and I'm just starting drafting episode 7, I actually reached a milestone for myself, which is over 100,000 words. Because even back in the day, that's like standard novel length, or at least in my perception. And so having that done of one contiguous story was really special for me.
God, yes. Well, it wasn't surprising to anyone that you reached 100,000 words. Holy crap, Confessions is long. Like, you guys listening, you've seen like the first 3 episodes. I got the script for episode 6 to see, and I can't talk about it for obvious reasons, but holy shit!
The first 4 episodes follow literally a Fibonacci curve, which I did not intend, but I guess that's the point, is that it naturally occurs. So you guys are in. And literally, as James is seeing with episode 6, we're also reaching the point where there's like sub-stories within the master, and so it's like, it's got layers.
Like, SkyBolt loves to talk about how Confessions is sort of is going to reach that point where you feel the overarching story coming in, and you hear him talk about it. I saw the script. He's doing it. Yep. No, it's there.
It's gonna be great. It's 2 weeks.
Long ass story. So, I was speaking to Hall. I think.
Who's that guy?
Must have, to our lovely director Michael Hall. I was speaking to him about something a little later, and it's something that since he's confirmed, he was pretty cool with it. And I'll happily mention it on the air, is one of the things we're looking at doing in the future, or at least picking up after Terminal Secrets is finished. Is we really want to look at doing some sort of at doing something with a bit more of a Constantine vibe, like the Hellraiser comics and the... Wait, did I say Hellraiser or Hellblazer?
Hellraiser.
I always get it fucking... I always get them mixed... I always say... Never mind.
Who gets in Pinhead?
Like the TV show. But yes, we want to do something like that in the Fallout Equestria universe.
So like what the demon fighter kind of thing?
Yeah, like if you were to take it and set it in a pony version of Louisiana or New Orleans.
Inbred as fuck.
That's rude. If we have any listeners from Louisiana, I apologize for SkyBolt.
No. I have a great love. My mom actually lived in bits of New Orleans for a long time, so.
But so,
good
guys, we've got some great content coming our way because the Fallout Equestria universe sort of it almost creates its own content at this point.
Yeah, it is the weirdest damn thing. Even just Equestria, even just My Little Pony in general. It's like, you talk to yourself 5 years ago, you're like, what the fuck are you talking about? Are you kidding me? And it's like, well, if a little side promotion, if you guys check out on my own channel, my SkyBolt channel, I have this 1 hour like making of thing about Fall of an Empire, and it's like, I was able to find a group and great musician and carve a whole little opera out of the side of the universe, and it became its own huge full-fledged musical thing. And it's like, I don't know what it was, but just something about the community in general. It was such a perfect lightning in the bottle moment that it energizes everyone's creativity. And it's like, you're seeing people too. It's like you have that garden to work in, and you've got a small audience to bounce things off of, and then you could become someone like Living Tombstone, who's a giant on YouTube in his own right, and he just makes music for things in general. Mm. And so that's the kind of thing, it's really cool to see people just develop their crafts and like make something great out of this totally random, fan base.
Well, that should be PR for Stable-Tec, that.
I know, right? I can attune. Stable-Tec has definitely helped hone my skills of bringing art. Mm.
Yeah.
Okay, so I think we're at our ending point for this episode of the Stable Talk podcast. Well, all right. So yeah, thank you to Mr. James Kelly for joining us this time.
It was a pleasure. Absolute pleasure.
And just remember, everyone, SkyBolt's name is spelled with a small b.
No, it's not.
He has a small b, guys.
They call you Yums, Vermont.
He has a small b.
The biggest b you'll ever see.
When I saw her standing out there in the light, dressed head to hoof in black and white, and no one batted an eye. But that striped mare was quite a sight, and struck me like a stick of dynamite. Oh heavens, what a delight. I asked her name, my heart coerced, but she said it cost a cider first to satisfy her thirst.